Hi, everybody. Welcome to Am I the Asshole podcast. I'm Danny Vega, joined by my lovely, lovable, Fergalicious co-host, Sarah Levine. Sarah, how are you today?
Wow, it's weird that you said that of all adjectives because my roommate was completely listening to Black Eyed Peas like 10 minutes ago. And I was like, wow, I haven't thought of these people in a while.
The Black Eyed Peas, it was a different time. I mean, if you can just hear, I got a feeling in your head right now, you're like, that. The collective euphoria we didn't even know we were in.
Oh my God, right?
When that song, bam, 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 you know what I mean? It just, now you're like, stop with the bam, bam, and just no, just that doesn't fit
Legit.
today anymore. Nobody's got a feeling. People have a foreboding is what they have.
That is such a good joke. I was going to say, we only have bad feelings.
Yeah. It's a miracle that I have this energy. I don't want people to think I'm doing well because it's crazy. I was in my weekend has been just a fog of CBD and watching people play video games and eating. Totally boring, but kind of awesome. But also just kind of like my room was utterly. And then do you ever just get hit with that lightning bolt where you're like, I can't live like this. I finally broke.
Yeah.
Like I have to clean my room.
Oh, I mean, as I look around to like the tornado that is my room, I have a one night bag I haven't unpacked from a one night excursion. I have my laundry. I have boxes everywhere. I have boxes I'm saving just in case I might need to ship something in the next 6 months. Like, what is wrong with me?
Oh yes, the hoarder mentality.
Yeah. But you know what? If I do have to ship something, 6 months from now, I'm gonna be like, damn it, I wish I still had that box.
I know, right? I know, but that's if you can't be a hoarder in New York, because then you just then you gotta it's got to become your best friend. You're like, this box is my friend. We're sitting together. Where are you gonna put a box? There's nowhere to put it.
At least I can collapse it and kind of stick it somewhere. Whatever. Will I do that? No.
No, I finally broke down and got rid of all these boxes and crap I had lying. Well, I had a lot of cookie wrappers. Let's get to the cookies, people. Go. We got big cookie. First of all, we love to see this cookie recipe someone posted that was their review. I said rate, review, and subscribe. They gave us 5 stars and left a cookie recipe. Obsessed. I mean, you killed it. We are working now. I want you to know, dear reviewer, we are working. We are collecting our experts. Sarah may attempt the cookie recipe. Sarah, are you in?
Yeah, I'll attempt it. Am I going to do it justice? That remains to be seen.
I'm potentially looking at recruiting top talent from my local area, aka my roommate, Kyle. I'm going to see if he's up to the task.
Let's go, Kyle.
But we're hyped. Let's go, Kyle. Let's see I think he'll be down. He's usually down for this stuff. But people, I gotta say, I had Detroit Cookie Co. I ordered the sampler. Somebody had recommended this. DCC. Somebody popped into my DMs. We're going high for the DCC now. Just having these cookies there, I gotta say a lot kind of entered. I'm really ready to take my cookie consulting to the next level because I had a key insight that there's cookie genres.
Yes, do tell.
Just like there's pizza, right? You can't go to Lou Malnati's or Malnati's, whatever it is, in Chicago, right? And be like, I prefer thin crust. It's okay, well, that's not what...
Go elsewhere.
Exactly. And so, Detroit Cookie Co. does do a thin cookie, more like an Insomniac cookie.
Okay.
So I'm not going to ding them for not being the huge cookies that I frankly prefer. That's my personal cookie preference. They did send me, I should word this like I'm an influencer, even though I totally just paid for the cookies. They sent me a wonderful box, banana pudding, chocolate chunk, ultimate peanut butter, double chalk coffee toffee, B-Day cake, and raspberry Oreo cheesecake.
That sounds delicious. You had me at the peanut butter one, to be honest.
I gotta be honest with you, Sarah. I think peanut butter is a hard place to shine. I thought every one of these cookies was good. Okay. Every single one was good. If I was in Detroit, I'd be chomping on these things. I gotta say though, there is an exception to this, and that's the raspberry Oreo cheesecake cookie.
So it's good?
This cookie slapped.
Ooh.
I mean, this cookie delivered what I did not think a cookie could deliver. It's like, it does sound like kind of like Chip, everything bagel. You're like, that's just crazy.
Yeah. Well, no. It's
less
bagel.
crazy. It's less crazy than bagel,
like, I'm
but
on
it's
board.
still pretty radical. It's like, let me get this straight. This cookie is going to contain 2 other desserts. They're like,
You're right.
Yeah,
You're right. It's
2
so
other
meta.
desserts and a fruit in one cookie. Yes, it does. It really does. And the goo factor was solid. And I recommend it. Certainly, I recommend it full out. I mean, I think it's a lot of fun. You know, it was $37 all in to get it shipped, so it's a little bit expensive for 12 cookies. But I loved it. Recommend. And people, we want more cookies, so let us know. We're gonna just keep the cookie train rolling.
Love it. Maybe I'll try to bake.
So.
I mean, I did a TikTok recipe, so now I feel overconfident in my culinary skills.
Promise the listeners that you'll make the cookie recipe review.
Yes, I will.
Yes.
I will. I have to read the review, and I'll definitely give it my all.
That's all we ask. Now, we have had a rare kind of switcheroo here, people, throughout this podcast, largely, actually 99% of the time. I've been in a relationship, and Sarah has not.
Literally.
And the tables have finally turned, people. So, Sarah, hit us with the update.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, there are no updates. Like,
you are exclusive, declared explicit exclusivity, aka boyfriend.
yeah, I don't even think we ever declared exclusivity. We just went straight to like boyfriend, girlfriend.
Right. This has been a sticking point for some friends of mine who believe exclusivity is the same as
I mean, I think
boyfriend.
we've had this convo before. I think it's basically just the diet version of that.
I think so. Diet version, sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, things are going well. I have no updates yet. We made the
No
TikTok
updates.
pasta together, and it was quite good.
Well, if it isn't a modern romance, people, they made the TikTok. But what is the TikTok pasta? Am I supposed to know what the TikTok pasta is?
As a person with like 40,000 followers on TikTok, I kind of thought you would know.
70,000. Thank you.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, yes. So, I mean, I actually didn't even watch the video. I just saw everybody posting about it and was like, what is this? So I Googled TikTok feta pasta recipe. Basically what you do is like you take a block of feta and a bunch of like cherry tomatoes, olive oil, salt, pepper, whatever. You bake it in the oven and then you add it to pasta. There is some element with like saving some of the pasta water and mixing that in to make it like a skillet.
Sure.
That sounded disgusting, so we didn't do that. And I think that was the right choice. So yeah, basically just pasta with tomatoes and feta and like garlic and shallots. You really can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong. I mean, look, I don't really think of feta as a pasta cheese, but if it kind of flies, it's good.
A little goes a long way, I think, because it's like very flavorful.
Well, that sounds great. Well, isn't it nice that you're in a couple and you guys are eating TikTok recipes and that's sweet.
Thanks.
And actually, Sarah, I got to call you out on this. You sent me or did you tweet this corny ass? It was so funny. And I don't mean to make fun of you really, but did you just send that to me or did you tweet it? We got to
I tweeted it, but then I sent
it
to you because he replied and I just thought it was funny.
You guys, Sarah definitely used to be so grossed out at all the couple shit, and then she tweeted out, You ever backstock the person you're dating just so you can be like, ah, yes, suspicions confirmed, still cute.
It got some likes and he commented on it, so I thought that was funny.
He responded, everyone does it all the time. Bet he's doing it now. Emoji of a man throwing his hands up.
Cute.
Pretty cute. Not gonna lie. I gotta say, this is classic Sarah rhetoric here. Somehow even having a true crime vibe. Ah, yes, suspicions confirmed. Can something not be a case?
Just like, I'm not gonna tweet into the ether like how happy I am. Like, no. There's got to be some angle.
It still had a true crime kind of flavor to it.
Come on,
no
I
doubt.
won't change who I am.
I love it. Meantime, my relationship has ended. She broke up with me. I'm not gonna lie. She did not. She found me bad and mean. Feel now bad. I feel sad too. I thought I wanted it to go at a certain pace, and I know I need to go slow. But a lot of that was hurtful for her, and plus I was legitimately an asshole quite a few times. But yeah, so I'm back, kind of back on the market.
Back on the market. This will be fun. This will be a weird role reversal.
I feel good about it. I do really feel a lot of clarity of just being like, look, I do want a girlfriend. I like to have a girlfriend. But I do need to go slow. And now I'm like, I have a lot of like no exclusivity shit until 2 months with this person and try to see them once a week. not really gun it, because I was gunning it in all my quarantine relationships.
Oh, yeah, totally.
So you live and you learn and you play, guess the verdict. But first, people, please rate, review, subscribe. Please suggest cookies that you want me to order and eat, because I'll do it.
It's true.
AITA pod.com. Submit to us, review us, please. 5 stars on iTunes. We really appreciate it. You can join us on Patreon. Do the call-in show if you want to do you want to have your own voice heard. We'd love to have that. Patreon.com/AITAPOD. Let's do some GTV.
Wow, quite a lot of abbreviations there.
AITA for not letting a student leave school at dismissal.
Okay, here's the thing. That obviously seems like YTA, but then why would they even post that?
Right. It's a classic question.
So what? I know. It's like, so what would cause someone to do that? I'm just going to say not the asshole, and maybe the parent is. I feel the parent's involved somewhere.
Interestingly, I think you may be actually right, but you are wrong for the purposes of guess the verdict. It's a little bit of a confusing situation, a veritable morass. But look, oh God, it's an indictment. So the long and short of it is that at this, first of all, they're not a teacher, they're a secretary. They open up with that.
Okay. At
this school in America, no doubt, the funding for the school is partly determined by a test called STAR testing. Okay. And people hate doing it, and they don't have to do it. The students don't have to do it. So they try to cajole the students to do the tests, but they technically don't have to.
Okay.
And so I guess the secretary, but like they need them to, right? Because the school gets funded. So it's like, it's kind of this weird thing.
So it's like a weird standardized test that's not required. This is stupid. Nobody thought this through.
No, yeah, exactly. Right. I'm like, who messed up?
Some
like, no,
it should just government bureaucrat.
I don't understand how they can't make it mandatory either. I'm like, you're a school, you're in charge of the students, so you say, hey, you have to do this. Like, you just do. Just like we'd make you sign a permission slip or whatever. Like, there's got to be a way to incentivize these kids. But anyway,
like anyone who takes the test gets a pizza party. Boom, done. Like, where's my honorary degree in childhood education? Let's go.
I don't really understand it, and it's one of those situations that's like one enormous paragraph. But suffice it to say, that's the long and short of it. Top verdict says YTA school gets funded based on. The top sentence says YTA. She's right. You have no right to hold her against her will, right? Because she was held there after school. Kids should not be forced to use their breaks for schoolwork, especially if it has no impact on their actual grades or ability to graduate. Wow, I can't even believe you tried to call her mother too. She's legally an adult. Oh yeah, and the student was 18.
Oh, so I am right. Okay. Well, my initial thinking was right.
Well, the mother backed the student up and said, like, yeah, well, she doesn't have to take that test, which was true.
Yeah, so I initially was like, this seems obviously... Wait, what was it? Okay, yeah, I was like, this person does seem like the asshole, but then why would they be posting about it? So then I kind of reasoned myself out into an NTA verdict.
See, this just reminds me of that yoga situation we did where the pervy yogurt, the guy who was perceived as a pervert who would watch the yoga people.
Yeah.
And then they approach the watcher, the creepy watcher, and they're like, hey, can you not watch? And he's like, no, I have a right to be here. And they're like, we know you have a right, but you're making people uncomfortable. It's like there are certain corner cases where you can't just be right. That's not enough. You have to cajole people. And I love what you said. It's like, this is a pizza party solution, or with the case of the yoga guy, we agreed this was probably a 6-pack solution. Like, sometimes you got to use some beer and pizza to like get what you want, just because like people, if they have a right to something, they have a right.
I don't even think that this teacher is in the right, because it's not mandatory, and that's like the end of the story. You can't require someone to do something that they're not actually required to do. Like, you can't just try to strong arm them. It's not going to work.
Exactly. I love that word. That is a perfect way to do it. Perfect way to put it. There's some times where strong arming works against you. It makes them want to do it even less.
I'd say most times.
Most times, you got to catch your bees with honey.
Yes.
That's what you got to do, baby.
Yes. Okay.
But bees make honey. Does it even make sense?
No, you catch more flies with honey is the expression.
Flies. There we go.
Why do we want to catch flies? I don't know, but they are annoying, and I guess you'd want them out of the way. AITA for interrupting my wife and apologizing to another parent on her behalf.
I just saw this one.
Damn it.
I'm not going to lie. I know the answer. It's YTA.
Damn it. Okay.
Sorry.
Why do I need to even go through it then? We know why.
Go through it for the listeners.
Okay, so basically OP has like a seriously mentally disabled son, and the wife is very protective of him. They also have a daughter. Their daughter had some kind of sporting event. The regular babysitter canceled. They had to bring the son. The wife was upset, and the husband was like, I don't know why we couldn't just hire anyone off some insert random babysitter app. And the wife is like, you can't hire just anyone to babysit a child with special needs. Okay, so the son acts up a few times during the game. The wife takes him out a couple times. During the last time that she did this, the husband actually gets up and moves sections while the wife is out. He said this was to be closer to see the daughter playing and also to talk to some buddies. Okay, so then as they're walking out after the game ends, one of the other moms confronts the wife and says, as a mom, if your son can't behave, it's your responsibility to make sure that he doesn't ruin this experience for everybody else. The husband added, especially for the kids who do know how to behave. The woman threw up her hands. This same lady said, if that was my kid, the first sign of a tantrum, and he would have been taken home. So then the wife started to go into defensive mode, but then the husband interrupted her and said, you're right. Our conduct tonight was disruptive and inappropriate. I apologize on behalf of my family. We are very embarrassed and will make better decisions next time. Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. So the top comment was, you did absolutely nothing to help your wife and then told her off in public. Honestly, I can't find a single thing you've mentioned that isn't an asshole move, YTA. Holy shit.
Was the wife just being defensive when he dropped his apology?
The wife didn't even start to say anything. She started to be like, excuse me, but my son has a disability and isn't just having a random tantrum, like, whatever. But she couldn't even really get in a word in edgewise because the husband just interrupted her and started like profusely apologizing.
Weird.
Yeah. I love people who are like, oh, the first time of a tantrum, I would take their kid. No, you wouldn't. Like, you would not be doing that. It's also like, this is like a high school sports game. Relax.
Right. Yeah. Calm down, everybody. Yeah. I mean, it seems rude that the wife never got a word in, period.
Yeah, because I'm sure if the wife explained, those people would have felt like the assholes real quick.
Right.
But the husband just wants to like play the good guy. What a dickbag. Anyway.
Yeah, well, I like that. Yeah, sometimes playing the good guy is like a dick move. She wanted to speak her piece, and like the explanation was more satisfying.
Yeah, and it would have actually maybe helped those people, that just to teach them a lesson that you can't just like go, mouthing off to every person who like, I don't know, doesn't behave like a robot in public.
Right.
At your sports, at your high school sports game again.
Yeah, like who
relax.
cares?
Like you're not at like a movie premiere.
Right. Are we in the library right now?
Yeah.
So
all right.
Relax. AITA for not donating baby things to my neighbor.
No, not the asshole, but is the neighbor the asshole? Well, I could see the neighbor being pushy about it, which is why this person even feels the need to write on AITA in the first place. Okay, I'm going to go with not the asshole.
Not the asshole is correct.
All right.
So basically the title is kind of a trick because mother-in-law, insane, tells the neighbor who is struggling, admittedly, so maybe it came from a good place. Hey, my son-in-law over there, he's got all this baby shit, and the baby's a mega baby or whatever. It's grown out of the stroller or whatever, the carrier. I don't know the names of these things. The baby equipment is no longer needed. So the mother-in-law says, you can have all the baby equipment. It's not her baby equipment. OP actually had a plan. He was going to store it for the next baby. And so he's like, no, mother-in-law. And then the father-in-law, this MF, is like, oh, I can't believe you're being stingy.
What the hell?
Ridiculous.
So make them buy the stuff for the next grandkid, since they gave it away to this neighbor.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, she struggles with boundaries. Mother-in-law that struggles with boundaries. Is there any other kind, people? Catch my act. I'm performing in Kansas. So, top comment, NTA, not her place to donate your things. Most parents save everything they can until they've had all the babies they think they're going to have. This is normal. Well, I don't know about that. But anyway,
I think that's giving away normal.
I think it's normal. Depends where you are, too. I definitely know some baby, what is the thing? A baby seat? Is that what you put in the car? A baby seat.
A car seat?
Right? Car seat, they call it. But it's really a baby seat. The baby is in the seat. The seat is in the car.
Okay.
Anyway.
And he's here all week, folks.
I'm here all week. Giving away somebody else's stuff is not normal, right? So
no, it's not. Okay. AITA for cooking while my roommate sleeps.
I mean, people. How can I? No assholes here, I said.
Close, but not quite.
Rats.
And frankly, I think the top verdict being NTA sort of stems from people forgetting no assholes here exists. But this is actually kind of an unbelievable situation because the roommate had bed bugs a few months ago and threw out his bed and has slept on the couch ever since. The roommate still has a room, just no bed in the room. So now it's 9 o'clock a.m. 9 o'clock a.m. Nailed it. And the OP wants to cook breakfast, and the roommate is kind of like tossing and turning on the couch a little bit dramatically. The top verdict, NTA, he's choosing to use the common area as his bedroom. Nope. So we're tied.
Yeah, I think, yeah, we're tied. That's fair. We'll call that one a tie. I mean, technically, I cheated because I had read, but
I can't count that against you.
Thank you. We got an update. Sarah did some due diligence here. We got someone in the Patreon was wondering if Renesmee is real. I think it is.
I think it's real.
An update from OP has been posted to the subreddit. OP writes. Background on this, Renesmee is of Twilight, if you don't know that. It's a name from Twilight. Is that right, Sarah?
Yes.
But what is it in Twilight? The girl?
It's, the main character's daughter.
Right, okay. My boy, so basically this boyfriend wanted to name the daughter Renesmee, and OP was like, no, we're not naming our kid Renesmee. That's ridiculous. And then the boyfriend announced on social media they were, in fact, naming the daughter Renesmee.
Yes.
Update from OP. Boyfriend came home last night, and I sat him down and was extremely firm about why I didn't like Renesmee or Twilight in general and suggest we find a name we both like. Otherwise, I'll pick the one I like, and it'll be final. Whoa. Few hours of discussion going nowhere. I went to bed and watched My Girl, and he followed me in. Pretty much the second he heard Vita's name, he fell in love with it. I've loved the name since the first time I ever saw the movie. So we've settled on Vita. V-E-D-A, is that how you say that? Veta?
I assumed it was Vita, but I don't know.
Livin' La Vida Loca. And I have him warned if he pulls a sneaky one on me, he'll be the one paying for a name change while paying for his own place to live. So that's that drama resolved, really. I mean,
okay,
wow.
I know he is 18 and it fucking shows because all this girl needed to do was not have a mature conversation, but was just to show him a different movie to make part of his personality. This is so dumb. I'm almost mad.
Pretty dumb. But you know what?
But better than Renesmee, and I'm happy, and I'll take it. Good job, OP.
Exactly. All's well that ends well.
Yeah.
And here's something that didn't end well this week. A listener submission.
Oh my God. This was
a double submish.
Yeah.
Somebody wrote in and said, this is the top award for weird listener emails.
Yeah.
Hi, I just found Danny on TikTok, and he doesn't look like anything like I expected him to. So now I'm scared to look up Sarah.
All right.
Then they submitted again. Sarah was less scary. She's pretty. Smiley face. I think I like Sarah more. Smiley face.
Yikes.
Thanks for submitting, I guess. I guess I'm scary.
Yeah,
I don't know what you
expected.
expected.
You're scary.
Scary? Why am I scary? I'm 5'8".
Yeah, I have no idea why you're allegedly scary.
Scary? What is that? I'm beautiful. I'm attractive. And I'm reading self-help books. That's why I say shit like that.
Yeah, no, I have no idea. It's bizarre.
It's bizarre. And to call Sarah less scared. Well, he said you're pretty. So
the Halo effect in action. I love it.
I don't even know what's going on. Big ups to our new patrons, Grace and Nikki. Thanks for joining the Judge Judas. You can join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. Please submit, rate, review, subscribe. We got one heck of an app for you today. Our second story Ito of the day, AITA for not letting my son claim a box of granola bars. But first, AITA for telling my husband to stop ruining my daughter's career. I have a daughter who's 16. Since she was 14, she's been modeling and acting. My daughter and I had talked about her taking jobs when she was in middle school, but my husband always say he didn't think it was ethical to, quote unquote, put her to work. Finally, when she was 14, we had a heart-to-heart with my hubby where she told him that this is what she wanted. My husband finally said he'd allow it. However, after his approval, he turned full-on Papa Bear and would insist on accompanying our daughter to each one of her jobs and staying the entire time. What's worse is that he'd have a lot of questions to the people in charge on set, think he's entitled to veto power over which pictures are used, and never lets her daughter network with any of the people on set without standing next to her. I accompanied them once to set, and one of the people in charge said that a lot of good careers have been ruined by parents who are difficult to work with and don't trust in their teenagers to make their own decisions. Over the past year, my hubby lost his job. He finally got a full-time position as a long-haul trucker. My daughter is back to booking jobs, and recently all her jobs have mostly fallen during periods where husband is away. My husband said for me to supervise my daughter, and I said, okay. This past week, I took her to a job, and I felt like the person in charge didn't want parents standing around being nosy. I honestly didn't want my daughter to be known as the one with diva parents. So I left and picked her up after she was done. On Wednesday, she has another job, and I want to pick up an after-hour shift at the store I work at, helping the boss sort inventory, so I asked my daughter to get herself ready and drive herself there. Husband called angry, started going through all the reasons I actually needed to be there. I snapped and told my husband that nobody gets ahead in any career with a parent breathing down their boss's neck, and that he was going to get her blackballed if he kept at it. I told him that I, for one, wanted to go to my shift and asked that he consider ways to be a father that doesn't ruin his daughter's career. AITA.
Ugh. Yikes.
Toughie. I think tough.
This is like tough, but I mean, like, I just feel like the dad has a big point.
Exactly. I think that's what's hard here is that, like, I mean, in my mind, I can think of so many scandals, particularly involving models,
yeah,
less so
big time.
Less so with actresses. I feel like obviously there's Weinstein, but like I really feel like models are regularly sort of, I don't know, because they're younger. I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't need to like compare industries. I think they're both like super toxic, and especially this girl is like 16 years old. So
right,
16 or 14.
She's a young girl.
It doesn't matter. She's 16.
She's 16
Either
now.
way, it doesn't really matter. I think like I get where the mom is coming from kind of, but like for me, it just seems like a no-brainer because when you're talking about the like health and wellness of your kid, why would you not just err on the side of caution and overprotective?
Exactly. I think like, you know, these are non-standardized jobs, right? It's not like, oh, well, your daughter's 16 and she works at the local cafe or she works at Starbucks. Like she's with this new cast and crew every single night, and that would make me uncomfortable. Like, yeah. I understand dad's kind of angle here.
Yeah. Like,
on the other hand, I mean, she's 16, she's not 14, you know, she's going to be an adult in 2 years, she's going to be 18. Like, it's tough.
She is going to be an adult, but she's not. And like, to me, I guess I just struggle to understand, like, okay, the way that I see it is like, it's such a, like the trade-off doesn't like justify it because it's like I'm like really struggling to articulate this, but it's kind of like at worst of being too overprotective is like, oh, what? She's not going to be a famous model. And like at best, you know, you've perhaps prevented something very bad from happening, or at least like empowered her to, I don't know, not let certain types of things happen in that industry to her. So like, I guess I'm sort of struggling to like understand the mom's perspective, honestly.
I guess what I see is that he's going a little too far. There's kind of showing up and like meeting the cast and crew and just being like, hey, you know, my daughter's young. I just want to make sure I get the vibe here, make sure everyone's cool, make sure you understand that if something bad happens to my daughter, I'll personally come for you, etc. Kind of creating that vibe, like I'm involved. But like the way she's describing is like he had a lot of questions. He thinks he's entitled to veto power, doesn't let the daughter network without standing next to her. It feels a little bit like he is stepping on her autonomy to a point where it's like, well, this isn't about safety anymore, Dad.
Well, I guess I would agree with most of what you said. Yeah, I guess I can see that she thinks it's like overbearing. To me, again, it's like, oh, okay, so she loses modeling jobs. Like, it seems worth the trade-off, but I understand it. That said, I think the mom is being way too lax now. Like, there's got to be a middle ground between, all right, bye, and like helicoptering.
Right. So the mother wants to just, I guess what I really don't like about mom is just how reductive she's being. I don't actually think her perspective is invalid. I think it's okay to grant a little autonomy. I can see this just being something they don't agree on. I don't think it makes her an asshole. I think what kind of does push me into not liking mom is her kind of mischaracterizing what dad's doing, right? Like, instead of being like, hey, hon, look, I know you have these concerns. I think they're valid concerns, but I think, Angela or whatever the daughter's name is, she knows what's normal. She knows what's to expect. I really believe that she has the confidence and the poise and the intelligence to handle any kind of situation that might emerge. But instead, she just kind of jabs him with this stuff of like, nobody gets ahead in any career and you're going to get her blackballed and you're ruining her career, and really fixating on that point, which I think is frustrating because that's not what he's trying to do. She's like purposefully misunderstanding his intentions and not seeing his side at all.
Agree. And yeah, I mean, I also just think like, okay, like as a parent, I would rather ruin my kid's modeling career and like preserve their safety. But like, I also think the problem is that she, kind of told the husband that she would uphold a certain expectation or just like level of, I don't know, like presence that she just blatantly didn't. And that's not okay.
I mean, I to see her a little bit, she wants to pick up a shift at a store, where she works. So that's part of her thing. I think this is I see autonomy on her side as well. He's a trucker, so he's out on the road. Like,
but it seems like she kind of waited until she had the moment to like start doing things her way, instead of saying to him like, hey, I think that your style is overbearing. I think like these are all the consequences that could happen because of that. Like, we need to come to a middle ground, instead of just being like, when dad's away, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want. Like,
Big agree. I think we're seeing eye to eye on what her sin is, because her sin is not her perspective, though I would love to learn more.
Like, I disagree with it, but I also like understand why you would have that perspective. But I also think like going behind the husband's back is not the way to go.
Exactly. Like, if they had that conversation and they didn't settle out and they couldn't find a middle ground, and then she goes, listen, I want to take this shift. It's important to me. I think Angela's going to be fine. So I'm sorry, but that's just what it's going to be. That would be much more fair than her just being like, no, you're right. Yeah. It's like that. Yeah. That wasn't. Yeah.
Sure. I'll do it. Turns around. No.
Like, exactly. Whisper M writes, no assholes here. Interesting. The modeling industry is a very tricky place. It has a potential for many dangers. I think he's worried about her safety just as any father should be. You aren't wrong in saying that he can't pick and choose his daughter's way through this. I don't think that's really hitting to the core of it, though.
I agree with you.
Kristen, honestly, yeah, you're the asshole. The people on set have an interest in things going a certain way, which is not necessarily in the best interest of your daughter. Plus, how many adult famous women have been sexually harassed by men on set? She's still a minor, so she does need someone looking out for her.
Yeah.
I generally would think, I mean, if she's a model, she's a good-looking young girl. I think there's a level of protection. I would certainly want to meet the kind of people running the show, or at least know that there was one person there I could trust and be like, yo, I need you to look out. That's
what's weird to me. I guess like at the core, that is what is bizarre to me. But there's a lot of like stage parents who do very ethically questionable things, so...
Yeah, I mean, there's people who go too far and they push forward and they live vicariously through, or they're overly involved, and maybe dad is even overly involved. But like the general kind of concept here that a young model kind of does need some additional kind of safety checks, I think most people are going to be on board.
Any kid in like show business, definitely. Like, why would you not? To me, I'm just like, why would you not err on the side of caution? Like, it's just, yeah.
Myrna F writes, your daughter's a minor and the industry is rife with creepy trying to get young girls alone. Your husband isn't an asshole. Maybe he needs to tone it down, but he's got points. You should have been there whether they liked it or not. She's still a minor and shouldn't be at a shoot without a parent.
Yeah, I also think there's like, it's like you can, there's a way to like be there but be in the background. Like, you don't have to go full ghost, like full drop you off and see you in 6 hours or however long it takes. I have no idea. So I don't like that the OP just jumps straight to like, all right, you're going to drive yourself there and I'm nowhere to be found. Goodbye.
Even just a check-in, I think, would help suffice. Even just, I mean, look, here's the bet. This is like an unbelievable offer, I think. If she just said, listen, when you get there, I want you to get acquainted with whoever is like your set handler or whatever, and I want them to FaceTime me and I want to have a conversation with them.
I think that's even worse to me than like just being there physically, because now you're demanding something of someone who's like on the job because you're being too negligent to just show up.
Well, but she wanted to do her shift, so I was trying to make a situation where she could still
I forgot about the shift. I mean, yeah, whatever, I guess.
It's tough. I mean, I think I understand, like, you know, he's out of town. She's probably bored. She doesn't want to be stuck at her daughter's thing all day. So I think there is that balance. I think there could be a level of paranoia to this. I don't think on any given set for one night once her daughter is immediately going to be, you know, threatened. But I think there are a protocol and a level of like just trying to acquaint yourself with some of these people. Like, look, like, yeah, you're right, Sarah. It is a little bit out of the job description, but it's like, you know, she's an underage girl. She shouldn't be working. So this is an exceptional case. So yeah, I would accept, like, look, if I was shooting a short film with, you know, minors in it, I would fully expect the parents to be like, yo, we want to talk to this guy. We want to know what he's about.
Yeah, but okay, here's my thing though. Like, because I feel like the wife is using the husband being overbearing as like her whole, like the whole central point of her argument. So like she can't sort of like come at him for being overbearing and then be just as overbearing. Like that wouldn't.
Well, she's just gone to zero bearing.
Yeah,
I see
exactly.
her as she's bearing zero. It's like, why can't you just check in a little bit? Do some kind of diligence here. Alicia A., your hubby's doing the right thing and wanting your daughter to be supervised in an industry with a not so great track record for taking advantage of young and underage girls. As a woman, I'm confused as to why you're not on the same page with him. Protect your daughter, lady. Mm-hmm. A lot of people back in that. Carrie M., everyone sucks here. I think there's some middle ground between being overprotective and underprotective that's worth exploring. That's what I'm trying to say. Lauren M., is anyone else concerned about the person on set who is pressuring mom to let a teenager make her own decisions? Teenagers are notorious for bad decisions, and this sounds creepy to me.
Wait, who is the person on the set?
I don't know, some person. I mean, I think it's balancing autonomy and supervision is tough, especially in the industry here. I get it, but I think there can be a little bit more of a balance. Eileen C., hi, LA model and actor here. Classic. People from LA, like,
love it.
I'm from LA. Love it, Eileen. You should accompany minors to shoots. I wouldn't trust anyone who acts like parents should be at a shoot with a minor. You and your husband need to both learn the industry. He's overdoing it. You're underdoing it. I think that's kind of where this is going. Top Reddit comment. Everyone sucks here. You're the asshole for not realizing why he's adamant about being involved. Have you not heard of Me Too or all the stories of child actors, models being groomed and molested by producers and photographers? Your daughter is a minor. There are millions of reasons that she would need the supervision of a parent in this industry. Your husband is only a gentle asshole because I think there are ways he can be present without interfering. You two need to compromise on this.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I can't bring myself to go. Everyone sucks here.
Me either.
I don't. I think dad is maybe a little bit crazy.
It's like you're overbearing, but like, okay, so what? You're overbearing for good reasons. And I think in this situation, better overbearing than underbearing. So I'm not going to come at him for that.
I would sooner say it's just a little inept or a little socially awkward how hard he's going.
Yeah, but like, I'm not ready to call him the asshole for that, because like to equate these two things is like not, I don't know, good in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think we agree. And also just on charges of kind of mischaracterizing her husband's intent and kind of missing his whole damn point. AITA for telling my husband to stop ruining my daughter's career. Big fat YTA.
Yeah, I think YTA.
AITA for not letting my son claim a box of granola bars. Wow. My son is 16 and he has a favorite kind of granola bars. We always buy him a huge box so they last longer.
Okay.
I know. Hello, nice to meet you. Yeah. The issue is he freaks out if anyone else has one. We never eat the last one. God, this house. I'm exhausted by this house and their granola bars. Oh, don't eat the last one. These are his favorite kind of granola bars. We only buy them in batches of 100. Don't eat the last one.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway. We never eat the last one, but they're pretty good, and it makes for a good snack.
Yes. Welcome to granola bars.
Yes, that is the premise.
If you want more, you buy more, and they make a good snack.
I know. It's like...
This is so funny.
Anyway.
I love it.
He scared his sister, 14, out of eating any due to his freak out when she dared to eat one. Okay, this is insane. My wife isn't a fan, so she never has one. I refuse to be bullied out of eating one of like 40 granola bars. Yesterday, I grabbed one and my son started on me. Why are you eating my granola bars? I held up a hand and told him, they're not your granola bars. You didn't buy them. They're for the house and everyone can have some. There's plenty left and I can have one. In the future, if your sister wants one, she can have one. He got pissed. My wife told me to just have something else, and I said no, leaving to enjoy it. How good are these fucking granola bars?
First of all, like, YTA for not dropping the brand name in here.
Just give us the granola bar brand.
I want to know. We'll add it to our cookie review.
There we go. My son apparently wrote his name on the box with Sharpie. I put tape over it and put our last name, family. My wife says I'm being petty, but I find all of this ridiculous. AITA.
This is pretty funny, but like, why not just buy 2 boxes of granola bars, I guess?
No, boo, Sarah, boo. Boo to that. This kid needs to get it straight. Just because you love the granola bars more than anyone, and that's great. It's great when you find something you love. You don't get to have the whole box. They're everyone's granola bars.
Yeah, you can't commandeer the box of granola bars.
It's crazy. There's plenty left. There are plenty.
I'm really just imagining this kid like trying to hoard away a Costco-sized box of granola bars.
Exactly.
Which
it's
is pretty much what he's doing.
There's going to be more granola bars in the future. We'll get another box if we run out, but they're ours to enjoy. Obviously, they're pretty good since you're obsessed with them, you little freak. And I don't know
what. Why are you so obsessed with me?
I never, honestly, I had never met someone who likes granola bars this much, but why is then the mother, this is like very people pleasy to me. She's like coming at him, like, just let him have it. No, show your son that there are people don't just get to decide that all the granola bars are theirs. Like,
yeah, that's bonkers.
Don't get walked on,
like,
lady.
how old are we? You have to teach your kids to share. This kid is 16. That's mind-blowing.
It's crazy.
Nuts.
Tammy P. Is his name Karen? He's acting like Karen. Entitled and ballistic if he doesn't get his way. NTA, but your kid sure is. And so is your enabling wife.
True.
I don't know if I can go... Well, actually, yeah. I mean, it's pretty bad parenting on her part.
Yeah.
Katie G, NTA, if he wants it for himself, he can buy them himself. And if it turns into a big fight, then he can lose granola bar privileges altogether. I think that's fair. Tell the kid, get your own granola bars.
It is funny, but it is fair, but it's just funny to be like, and I'm taking away your granola bar privileges. Like, it's not. You just would stop buying them.
Stephanie S., your son's an asshole. Your wife's an enabler. Today it's granola bars, but you've got to shut that down before you release him out into the world. It's true. Unchecked entitlement. You hate to see it. We see it a lot here, people.
We do see it a lot.
Kristen O. I mean, it's kind of the same as, what's her nuts? The mother-in-law giving away things. It's just like deciding that something is yours, that it's not.
Yeah, I mean, this kid is 16. I'm going to go ahead and give him the benefit of the doubt that he's not going to be like a complete menace to society if unleashed. But, I mean, yeah, those aren't his granola bars to commandeer.
Everyone pretty much agrees. Top Reddit comment, if he wants his own box, he's 16, pay for his own box. They're not his granola bars. He's got to share. Them's the rules. We agree. AITA for not letting my son claim a box of granola bars. Not the asshole. And the son and the wife are, right? I mean...
Yeah, big time.
Big time. All right, it's time for everyone's favorite part of the show, listener submissions. AITA for telling an angry customer, I make $7.25 an hour. I don't care. I, 19 female, work in the deli section of a Kroger in a wealthy suburb. People are generally polite to us workers, but every now and again, you get a customer who's just profoundly entitled. Wow,
See?
unchecked entitlement.
Yep.
You know what? 2020 was the year of internalized unassertiveness. 2021, unchecked entitlement.
Honestly, I am inclined to agree.
Working here during a pandemic has sucked. It's filled with rich people who refuse to wear their mask. Oof! And freak out when we are out of something. Oh, God. I hate these Krogerites already. Not to mention, we're all terrified of catching COVID. I'm on my feet 8 hours a day, slicing meat, cheese, doling out pasta. It gets busy, and when it does, it's exhausting. I work the 2 to 10 p.m. shift, which means I'm in charge of closing up for the night. This involves like a million tasks, so we're supposed to gradually start closing up at 9 to make sure it's all done by 10. At 9:30, we have to take apart the meat and cheese slicers, clean them, and then put them back together. Because of this, we stopped serving at 9:30. You know, I've been a victim to this process. Showed up at a deli counter at 9:31. I wanted some bloody roast beef. They're like, no can do. Anyways, the slicers take forever to clean, and we can't dirty up the slicers in the counter space just to clean them all over again. So the other night, it's 9:45. Oh boy.
There we go.
The slicers are cleaned and put back together. All the meats are stored, and my coworker Brian and I are finished cleaning up the last few parts of the area. Lady comes up and tries to order some ham. We apologize and let her know that the deli's closed for the night. We close at 9:30. She says, "You mean you can't just get in there and get me some ham?" We explained that everything had been completely cleaned and put away and that we closed 15 minutes ago and we just weren't able to. Usually people are cool when we let them know we're closed and don't ask further questions. Every now and then somebody will seem disappointed and we'll do them a solid and slice it up for them anyways. But after this long shift and the way this woman was speaking to us, I had no interest in going an extra mile for her. I said in my best customer service voice, "I apologize, ma'am. We're closed. We open tomorrow at 8 a.m. So she looks at me like I just refused to give a dying person CPR. Brian jumped in to defend me and said, "Ma'am, we're just doing what we're told." She replies, "Well, I'm telling you to slice me up some ham." I looked at her deadpan and said, "Ma'am, I make $7.25 an hour. You cannot make me care about your honey ham any less. We close at 9:30. Good night." Ooh. She said she, surprise, wanted to speak to a manager. I told her he goes home at 5, but if she wanted to sleep overnight in the deli and wait, oh boy, he'd be back at 9 a.m. and she could speak to him then. She looked sort of stunned and said she'd be calling my manager first thing in the morning. I said, "Have at it. I'll go across the street and slice meat at Giant Eagle." I don't normally say stuff like this, but I'd had enough. AITA.
Oh my God. Okay, the thing is, like, we can all agree that OP is the hero.
I mean, I love OP. And I hate this lady, but like OP, unfortunately, I don't think you are in the right in this situation.
Well, they're in the right, but I think that OP definitely went hard. Like too hard, probably.
Way too hard. It's not, look, it's like part of working these jobs is working customer facing jobs is dealing with customers and not being a smart ass to customers and not saying things like, "I don't care." Like, that's part of it. So what you did was, you know, you did something against your job, you know, like, it doesn't matter if you're a waiter or whatever. It doesn't matter if you're a clerk at Blockbuster. That job doesn't exist, but you gotta put on a game face and not say you don't care about people and their problems.
I mean, that, I wouldn't even say it was that, but it was just like everything else that kind of came after that. I was just like, all right, you're definitely like losing the moral high ground there a bit, being like, oh, if you want to sleep overnight in the deli, like, you know, like any job, like I can't just like snark on my coworkers. That's just, you know, not how it works, unfortunately. So like, yeah.
Yeah, I guess I just feel like
it's like, oh, this to me reads like the fantasy conversation of like what you want to have in your head that you like have in the shower 5 hours after the argument. I'm actually like impressed that OP like came up with all this stuff to say in the moment because I never would.
Here's the thing too. OP made it personal. They really did. Like, you know, this person is being obtuse. They're being selfish. I don't like them, right? But they're not actually attacking OP. They're not making any kind of case. Like if this Karen had said like, oh, I don't care that you're going to have to stay late. I don't care about your time. I would be like, lady, that's not okay. You know what I mean? And that is essentially what this worker said. I don't care about your honey ham. She made it a little personal.
I mean, so what? It's fucking ham. Like, I get what you're saying, but it's like,
she made it personal. That's it. It's not about that. It's not about the ham. It's about saying, I don't care about your ham. That's not, she personalized it. She took a shot.
I think that's kind of reaching. Because if the person needed the ham that badly, they could have come on time. Like, no. But
I just feel like that's the line cross. It's ma'am, I make $7.25 an hour. That's fine. You cannot make me care about your honey ham any less. That's not okay to say. Like you can't talk about her. You can't make it about her. You gotta just be neutral. Sorry, we close at 9:30. Like there's just nothing I can do.
I mean, they tried that, and the person was like, "Well, I'm telling you to slice me up some ham." So like, what are they supposed to do?
So, but she said one thing back. Like, it wasn't that crazy. Like, yeah, she was being obnoxious.
I mean, that's kind of crazy.
I guess she fought back twice.
Yeah, like, come on, that's crazy. And it's like, when you're closed, you're closed. It's not like that thing where you come in like 1 minute before closing and you're like, can you please do me a solid? Like, they were already solidly closed. They told you they were solidly closed. And then you just decided like, no, that doesn't apply to me.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I guess I just feel like this is a fireable offense and I would get it. I don't know if that makes OP an asshole. I got to chew on that. Sarah M, NTA, and you're probably even going to keep your job because it's hard to find people willing to work with the public in this shit. So Sarah sees what I'm saying. This does seem pretty inappropriate.
I mean, no, she's saying that it's hard to replace that. It's hard to fill that job right now.
Well, no, but she's saying you'll probably get to keep your job. In other words, that there's a chance she could lose her job over this because it's rude.
Yes, but then says, but you'll keep it.
Well, yeah, but they're saying she's saying she'll keep it not because the offense wasn't that serious, but because of COVID.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Alicia M, you really are an asshole for egging her on. Now the manager has to clean up your mess, and she's also an asshole for obvious reasons.
I mean, OP did egg the person on, so like, it's hard for me to call them the asshole because the other lady was so obviously the asshole, and also $7.25 an hour is so inadequate. But like, yeah, I think OP sort of like escalated it, or at least didn't de-escalate it.
OP escalated it. OP personalized it.
But like, also OP is a 19-year-old and this woman is like presumably an adult. So like, whose job should it be to not escalate something? It should be the full grown ass adult.
Yeah. Ben M, you may or may not get fired, but you are not the asshole so much that you are in fact the hero.
Can you be both the asshole and the hero? Because I do think that OP is kind of the hero.
Leah H, you're a dead set fucking legend. That's what you are. Allison M, ESH, it was obviously close, so she should have moved on. But also, just an FYI, it was 15 minutes past and you'd already disassembled, cleaned, and reassembled. That's not a long time, so you shouldn't act like it is.
What?
No matter how long it takes, she should have gone on, and you should learn how to talk to people better if you don't want to jump from job to job. Oh,
okay,
God.
No. What does that mean?
Oh,
it only took you. This person sounds like a secret Karen. Like, oh, it only took you 15 minutes to clean everything, so therefore you can undo all that, reassemble everything, cut her fucking ham, and then clean it again. Like, no, get out of here.
I think there's no question that the Karen and the person requesting is an asshole. I think OP is a justified asshole. I think
justified
what they did is
asshole.
Not appropriate for their job, so I guess that's how I would kind of split this. It's just kind of like a weirdly justified ESH.
Interesting. I could say justified asshole. That would be fine with me, I guess.
Justified asshole, but it's an ESH though, right? Because she's the asshole too, the Karen, the woman.
Well, obviously that lady is the bigger asshole.
Well, sorry, OP, you're a little bit of an asshole because you did get testy, but
like
everybody
we
loved...
respect it. Don't get us wrong.
We respect it. The burns were sick. The burns were sick.
They were
it's
sick.
Just, you know, you weren't in a place to burn, and part of your role in this job is to not burn. But you know, whatever. She deserved to be burned. There's no question there. It's just that wasn't your. If you had to get your friend who wasn't working to burn this woman, that's the
or just like burn in a more indirect way. I think.
Yeah. All right, people. Well, please treat your Kroger and grocery store employees well, for the love of God. I tip on Amazon Fresh. I do, people. I do.
Good for you. I'm proud.
Thank you. All right, guys. Well, that's the ep, and we'll see you next Monday morning.